Hello, it's Mr. O'Mara here, and I want to talk to you about a trick called multiplying and dividing by powers of 10. This involves two fairly simple ideas, and once you get the hang of it, it's good to know. So, when I say powers, or when we say powers in maths, we do not mean superpowers, unfortunately. What we do mean is things like squaring and so forth. So, 10 is in actual fact 10 to the power of 1. This is one of these things that we don't bother writing, but everything is itself to the power of 1. So 10 to the power of 2 is in fact 10 times 10, which is 100. So 100 is 10 to the power of 2. And we call that squared for obvious reasons, because it's how we calculate squares and so forth. And cubed, which is how we calculate volume for a cube, is 10 by 10 by 10. And I'm guessing here that you can say 3, 3, and that's 1,000. So, of course, 10 to the power of 4, and so forth. So you've got more digits. I think that's true. Yeah, it is. So let's move on. So that's what we mean by powers. Now this trick only works when you're dealing with numbers that are to the power of 10. So if you're talking about to the power of 10, then you can use this trick. You can't use it for other numbers. So you move the decimal point right. So let's look at a simple number here. Let's look at 5, for instance. Now 5 is in fact 5.0000, and zeros forever. It's turtles all the way down. So if we're timesing that by 100, we count the zeros, so there's 2 of them, so we move the decimal place 2 spots to the right, 1, 2, and the answer is 500. Now of course 5 times 100 is 500. But where this gets useful is you might have, let's say you've got 32.78. And in actual fact, in 32.78, where we stop specifying, it's all zeros after. And we're going to times it by 10,000. So, how many zeros have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many places do we move it? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's my new decimal place. And my answer is 3, 2, 7, 8, 0, 0, and I'm going to pop in the comma there just because I find it easier to read with a comma. So the answer is 327,800. So this is a simple trick that you can use to times by 100, 1,000, 10, 10,000, 10 million. Count the zeros, move the decimal place. Remember these invisible zeros here, that's quite important. When it comes to dividing by 10 or dividing by 100, you can use the same trick. So let's go back to 5. 5, as we know, has these invisible zeros, but it also actually has invisible zeros here, which you sometimes see in computer files and stuff. That stuff's called 005 and stuff to make it sort properly. So this is worth knowing, because if I want to divide that by 100, I look at my zeros, there's 2 of them, and I'm going to move the decimal place 1, 2 places. So my answer is 0.5. Likewise, if I've got 5 again, or let's pick a different number. Let's say I've got 32 this time. And I want to divide it by, I don't know, actually let's go for a cool million, shall we? 6 zeros. So I have 32, and I need to move it 6 zeros. So it goes from here to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there it is. So that is 32 divided by a million, because I count my zeros and I move across. And as you can see, when I kept moving, I had to keep bringing in those invisible zeros. So if it helps you to actually write out the invisible zeros and then move it, so what I'd do then, for instance, is, let's say I know that this is going to be tricky. So 48.6, I'm going to put my zeros on either end, just so that it's easier to use. And now I'm going to times it by 1,000. Actually, I'm not going to. I'm going to divide it by 1,000. So 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3. So my answer is 0.0486, and it was easier to do because I had those in place. So that's a neat little trick that it's worth knowing. That's all from me. I hope this has been useful.